Dating an inmate from prison walls to love calls, baby. Let's talk about the pros and the cons of dating an inmate. All right. Number one, I don't think that it's a good idea to be dating anybody that is in jail. I mean, depending on what they're in there for, I don't think that it's a good idea. Number two, um, know what they're going in there for before you decide you want to date somebody that's in prison, especially if they're doing a long period of time. Okay, they be really doing some things that they should not ever come out of prison for. All right. I feel like a lot of women that decide to, if you was dating that man before he went to prison, then I can understand. But those women that be looking for love and they be choosing to look, be pen pals with a prison inmate, baby, listen, it is never that serious. Just keep it as a prison pen pal. Don't try to take it no further than that. Because at the end of the day, these men in prison, they just do a lot of talking. It can lead you to getting into some trouble, or it can lead you to just being their sole provider because they probably, they can't do a lot of things once they get out of prison. So, let's talk about it. Dating a prison inmate. The emotional commitment is intense. Dating someone in prison requires a high level of patience, loyalty, emotional strength. The lack of physical presence make emotional bonding both deeper and more complicated. I would assume that it's way more complicated to date somebody in prison because they're going to tell you all the things that you want to hear. All right. Usually when these people be getting out of prison or jail or whatever the case may be, mostly when they're doing a long time, a long bid or something like that, when they're doing a long bid, they say all the good things that you want to hear. Most of the time, women be vulnerable when they're talking to these men. If you didn't know him before he went to prison and you're just now getting to know this person due to being a pen pal or something like that, these men are going to say anything because they need that. They need whatever you can provide, whether it's commissary, phone calls, putting money on their books, whatever. I don't even really know what goes on in jail or prison. I never been. But the thing is that they're expecting you to provide them with these things, so they're gonna sweet talk you and they're gonna want you to continue to call them or put money on their books or whatever the case may be so that they can continue to have these things while they're in jail. Then when they get out of jail, then it's a whole different story. It's a whole different thing. It's a whole different atmosphere. Sometimes it stays the same. You dealing with this person while they in prison or whatever, and then when they get out, because they know they have no other place to go, then they're relying on you to be the sole provider or basically just be that person that can, help them through life. You know what I'm saying? Not sometimes it could be sometimes it could be a clutch for them because when they have the opportunity to be something, understand that when you become a felon, there is not a lot of opportunities out there for you. And a lot of people take that as, well, it's not, I can't get a job, I can't do this and I can't do that. But at the end of the day, you can still create a way for yourself. You can still create, and it don't have to be doing something illegal. So you can still open doors for yourself without having to submit to the system because you're a felon. You know what I'm saying? That is somebody that actually wants to change their life. So if you're going to be with somebody who you think is actually going to change, then when they get out, especially if they got that F on their report card, baby, you should be making sure that they want to be able to do something and be something when they get out of prison. Otherwise, you're just making it a clutch for them where they could just rely on you. You pay this, you do this, and you do all of that, or they go back to their old ways. So just understand that those are some of the cons of being with a prison inmate. I ain't gonna even say there's some pros to it because I really don't know. I never dated a prison inmate, but for those of you that are out there who might find dating a prison inmate something that you might want to do, just keep all of these things in mind. It can become a burden that you have to take care of another person because they don't want to go out there and create something for themselves, because a lot of jobs are not hiring them, and these type of jobs don't be the jobs that they want. You know what I'm saying? And also, jobs hold these type of things over their head as leverage. Hey, you're a felon, so you're gonna have to do this or you're gonna like it or not. So just understand that you don't want to be a clutch for them. You want them to actually make opportunities for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Stigmas from society and family. People often judge or don't understand the choices to date an inmate, which can lead to isolation or strained relationships with family and friends. Okay, say this person was a pen pal. Obviously, the family is going to be like, okay, why are you dating this person? He was in prison. He was just a pen pal, and you're trying to take it further than that. They feel like you deserve better and that you going for an inmate is something that you is beyond you. You can do better than that. Now, again, if this inmate come out and he start his own business and he started to do things, he get himself from out of that rut and get out of that stigma of being a prison inmate who can't do nothing and I got a felony and I got to do this and I can't do this and I can't do that, then obviously they would probably look at it in a different way. You know what I'm saying? But until they see that different way, baby, they not gonna be supportive of you dating an inmate. there's no point. You know what I'm saying? So, again, just understand that prison inmates, they say a lot of things just so that y'all can continue y'all relationship, and sometimes when they get out, the relationship doesn't continue. So they needed you for that time until they don't need you anymore. All right. Communication is limited but focused. Phone calls, letters, visitation become the primary means of communication. While limited, they can create a focused, intentional form of connection. All right. So again, they don't have any other time or anything else to do but to focus on talking to you and keeping you coming back, or keeping you putting book money on their books and things like that. So understand that you are serving a purpose until the purpose is no longer needed. Things could continue going well for you, or things could start declining when they know they're about to be getting out, or when they get out. All right, so understand that. The power of hope and redemption. Many see it as standing by someone they believe in, believing people can change, grow, and deserve love despite their past. If you know that this person wants to change and they actually get out of prison or jail or whatever the case, and they start making those changes, the obvious changes, like, hey, I had these ideas, I had all this time while I was in prison to come up with these ideas to start seeing if I could put them to work, then I could understand you sticking by this person and knowing that they're going to change. Understand also, some people don't change. So you sticking with somebody, like I said, know the crime, know why they're in there. Don't be just dating this man and he was some of the worst classes out there. I don't really want to say it because I really don't know what TikTok allowed me to say. But y'all know the crimes, the people that be out there essaying kids, or the people that be out there just serial. All right, like, let's be for real. You know what I'm saying? People that's out there for crimes that's just a capital crime, basically. So if you know that, just know the crime of the person that you're dealing with. And also, like I said, they have nothing but time to focus on you and writing you and sending you letters, because that's helping them. That's giving them entertainment. That's their form of entertainment, and it's helping them buy time. So obviously, they're going to be focused on responding, and they need that. But anyway, financial and legal stress. There can be expenses tied to phone calls, commissary support, legal fees, or transportation for visitation. So again, these are the things that you're making an effort. You're making the most effort by coming to see a person that's the inmate. All right. You're putting in the most effort. You're gonna pay for the phone calls because you want to talk to this person. You're gonna send out those letters. You're gonna buy those stamps. You're gonna if you really feeling this person, you might even think about some legal fees for that person. You paying for gas, or you taking a bus or whatever kind of public transportation to go see this person. Understand that you're putting in the most work to go see this inmate. If you're going to have this type of relationship with them, you're putting in the most work. You're coming out of the most money when you're doing these type of things. If this person get out of prison or jail or whatever the case may be, and they do not decide to change, this is when the dang on relationship starts to decline. Or if this person get out of jail or out of prison and they feel like, this is it. We had our laughs and our funs through these letters and phone calls, and you kept me entertained, and now I'm about to go my own way because, I'm for the streets, blah, 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 blah. Okay? You're putting in the most resources for this person just to go see this person, just to deliver these letters, so on and so forth. So understand that this is pure entertainment for the inmate. If they do not come out and become successful, or put into a plan, like put a plan together to be something in life, then you're really just basically, you're housing this person. It's like housing a child, taking care of a child, because this person cannot live. This person cannot do anything for themselves. They don't want to do anything for themselves, and they know that you're going to do everything for them. So do not be their clutch, okay? Reality after release is a real test. The relationship dynamic can drastically change once the inmate is released. Adjusting to the outside world can be stressful and unpredictable. Okay, with that being said, obviously that person must have been in jail for a very long time if they have to readjust to society. All right, so again, know the crime. Being pen pals with somebody that been locked up for 15 years, I feel like, what do you like? You ain't got nothing going on in your life if you sitting here writing a person and sticking with a person. Your self esteem, to me, I feel like it got to be low. Again, if you decide I'm about to be pen pals with this person and I'm gonna wait until this person get out. Now, again, if you've been knowing this person before if you knew this person before they went to jail, then I can understand that. But if you about to be a pen pal with somebody and you just not getting to know this person through letters or coming up there and visiting them and stuff like that, baby, why are you wasting your time? I feel like you don't have nothing else in the world to do. You know what I'm saying? Are you desperate? You're not that desperate. You shouldn't be that desperate. Because again, things can change when they get out. You know what I'm saying? They have to readjust to life. Again, they might just want you to be the provider and supporter for them. And you can only support a person so much until they stand up on their own 2 feet and feel like, okay, I'm ready to be a man, or I'm ready to be. I don't really know if women have to deal with this when they're in prison. I don't know. But as for a man, Women dating men that are in prison, baby, they have to grow up and understand, or they have to realize, not even necessarily grow up, but they have to realize that, okay, I know I was in prison, but I'm not going to let this keep me down. I'm not going to let this, be an intimidation for me to go out there and become somebody and have something. And if this woman's been sticking with me and holding me down all the way, all this time since I've been in prison, then you know what? I'm gonna make sure that I'm there for her. I'm gonna make sure that I can be a provider, even whatever I need to do. You know what I'm saying? Aside from illegal activities. Okay. So if that man is able to come with you and y'all work together and y'all make something happen together, then I can understand that. But being with a man in a relationship, I feel like being in a relationship with a man that is an inmate, I feel like that is a very large, it's a huge task, and it can be a very huge burden after they get out, especially if they've been in prison for a very long time. You know what I'm saying? Now, for the women that be dating these men and then they have to go to prison, baby, and they be talking all this sweet stuff to y'all, and they got to do some long time, and they be expecting you to not mess around because y'all got kids or whatever, and they be expecting you not to mess around and be faithful to them while they locked up. Like, baby, wait. No, the relationship is over. The moment that you decided to be reckless, the relationship is over. I'm not about to stick around here and wait on you to get out of prison for 10, 15 years, baby. Regardless. I mean, it's just not about to happen. I'm just saying. Now, if you was in there for a year or two, give or take, then okay, we can understand. We can work with that. But you talking about 10, 15 years or more, baby? The relationship is over. Go find you a pen pal and make it happen. Because these pen pals be a lot more desperate than the baby mamas in them or the girlfriends that dated these people before they went into prison. So all I'm saying is I feel like I don't really see a pro in dating someone dating an inmate. I don't really see a pro in dating an inmate. I see a lot of cons when dating inmates. All right. But that's just my take on it. It's just my opinion. It's just girls talk, small talk, like it or leave it, period.